All right, guys, today we're gonna make some polos, right? Some polyester polos. And this is right there, the La Quinta logo that we're gonna be doing. And we're gonna move real quick to my table. Boom. So we are here, and normally I'm using the Mighty Hoops. I like to do a little, when I do my markings, depending on the polos and how many buttons they have and the size of it. There's different charts that you can use for sizing. I have mine already measured out, and what I do is that I place a dot. Usually I line it up with this edge right here, and I add like half an inch to it, and basically it gives me basically my placement over here. One thing that I like to do is that I like to cut a piece of tape, on a straight line, so I can line it up, straight with the floor, you could say, for the end of the table and stuff like that. And I like to line it up straight up and down. A lot of it is so when I move to the Mighty Hoop station, I'm able to make sure that it is, how it's supposed to be. I don't want to go because a lot of times these things, they don't look that much straight, or it makes it a little bit weird. I'm more technical about it. So I like to do this to all my shirts or items that I'm placing any logos or embroidery on. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. Normally, let me grab these things, move them out of the way so I can show you what I do with my backing. And looking for my scissors, if I can find it. Should be somewhere here. Cool. So I found my scissors. One thing that I like to do is the following. I like to I normally know the size that I want to cut. Sometimes I do this and I kind of just cut in a straight. I do double backing. So when it comes down to that, I use my table more or less to kind of run the bottom of my scissors through that slit and go through it. Then I grab this, I fold it in half, just like this. And I'm a big tape user, so I grab little bits of tape like this, and I cut that the long way. And while this is like this, I try to basically line it up this way. Put it in the edge, fold it back. While I'm holding it here, I'll do exactly the same thing. Fold it back, boom. Then I move to my station, slide that right in there, bingo. I grab the shirt that I'm gonna work with, and this is what I do. Since my dot placement, which one is the one that has the tape? It's the other one. Boom, it's this one. Got it. So I go, and what I do is the following thing. So I slide it in there, try to keep this down. So this is where I go, right? Once I know where I'm gonna go with it, I try to make sure that this dot is kind of like in the middle of it, okay? How do I know? Well, when I grab this, I try my best to line up that little dot. Right, I put it in between these most I can, and in between these two. So as I'm doing that, gotta be careful you don't push this down too much, because you can accidentally pull the bottom magnetic part of it. And then the tape that's there, I can line it up with the top and bottom of it. As you can see, boom. Once I'm there, boom, and I can take the tape off, and then I go and I usually save these, put them right there, and I use it for the next shirt. Then I go ahead, I grab my shirt. On the bottom, as you can see, it's gonna have my backing perfectly placed and stretched out how it's supposed to. That's why I like the tape. The tape snaps off after it's clicked on, so you'll be all right. Then I go in, make sure my bobbin is, it's gonna be a dark shirt. I got black bobbin. I usually do something like this. And since this is going to be, it's gonna have like somewhat of thin letters and stuff like that, I'm gonna change those 3 color needles. You know how the logo has like yellow, orange, and green? I'm gonna make those to be the 65 size needles, which are gonna be these right here. I use these. A lot of it is I try to use those whenever I'm using something small. And then from there, I make it 4, 8, 850, 900, depending on what you're doing. I'm going to move it up to like 850. And then other than that, that's basically it. So you can change the needles now, or you can go ahead and, you know, snap these in there and change it. For the most part, I don't go too crazy with it. So I'll show you how and what I do to change the needles real quick. Okay guys, so check this out. One thing I do is that I always use tweezers. And for example, for these, I go ahead, I click this button right here, this one and that one. And when I click that and this, it does this to this bottom piece of the machine, so it gives you room to work with it. So I go, loosen it up, drop that needle there. I'm gonna go ahead and use this needle. I got more, but I don't know if I'm already using it. Make sure that when you're working with these, if you can see, there's like one that has a little tiny slit, like a little cutout in the back, that goes to the back of it. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, see that little cutout right there on the left side? That goes to the back. And make sure that you always put it in an angle, not straight forward. Just kind of like no angle. Just turn a couple of degrees. The front is usually flat. So I grab this like that. I slide it in there. And then I tighten it a little bit. And with the tweezers, I think the thread is coming out a little bit. Let me put that in there. I like working with the tweezers a lot because it allows me to do a lot of stuff. And clearly they just popped out right now. But it allows me to kind of like guide the thread easier, instead of trying to put my fingers and all of that stuff. So it's just a habit of working with the tweezers. Push that in there. Grab a little bit of the thread. And I just go ahead and boom, we're in. See? That is why I like working with it. And then I'm gonna make sure the orange one is the same. I already have the orange set up like that. And I need the yellow to be the same way. So I'm gonna pull the yellow one out. So I can fix my camera a little bit. Okay. Boom. Take that out. I'm gonna use this blue one, which is, it is a small one. I know because I was using it before. Like I said, make sure the slit is back. Slide it in there. Make sure there's an angle. And boom, tighten it a little bit, not too much. You don't want to damage it. And I go, like I said, I'm big on using these the tweezers. See? I don't know. It's like a pair of like little tiny hands. So yeah, everything is there. I make sure that that dot that I made, that one, it's gonna have that the laser on it, or as close to it as possible. And once it's there, I just go to town and let it roll. I'll be right back. Actually, let me show you something. If you see right here how the letters look, that's why I like to use the 65 needles. I know there's needles that you can use and thread that you can use to go even smaller. Right now, I'm only been testing these out, and I really like how defined the letters come out when you're working with it. So let me see if I can get a more. There you go. So just wanted to show you that. I'll be right back. Just want to show you kind of the progress in the design. It's kind of what we're looking at. Now we're gonna move into the star, or the sun, or the flower, whatever that is, the little logo. One thing that you may have not noticed is that this one I didn't put no topping on it, no soluble topping. But I did that on purpose, and then I'll show you what it looks like with the soluble topping after they're done. Now I was gonna do the outline. It's kind of like orangish, so this client normally, what they do is that their employees, they bring the shirts in. They come and drop it off. One thing that I like to do is that when I'm doing marketing and things like that, I market to businesses and I also market to like individuals, like for personal work. So I get people from companies, I get companies themselves, they knock on my door for work. I do work for Starbucks, ADT, as you can see, this company and a lot of other ones. So, I pretty much try to market myself a lot. And what can I say? Like, normally, I don't negotiate too much. I set my prices based on quality, not on quantity. So a lot of people are gonna come to you trying to look for the best price. I don't work like that. I have good pricing. I'm not the most expensive. I'm not the cheapest, but I focus a lot on providing, good quality work. For the most part, they're welcome to go anywhere else. But I think about, like, every time I'm gonna turn this machine on, like, I need this machine to produce, to make me some money. So a lot of people that are shopping around, they're trying to do different things. I don't know. I say yes and no to a lot of people. So this is the design without topping. This is what it looks like. Okay. I'm gonna of course clean it up, cut the backing outside. Cool. So I got the shirt. I just put it inside out. And basically for cleaning, I only use like these type of items and a pair of scissors. If there's anything, that I need to, pop out or cut out, I'll use these. But for the most part, when they're t-shirts, normally, I don't cut the backs. I mean, I don't burn the backs of it. A lot of it is because whenever they're wearing these type of things, you don't want them feeling like these threads. You don't want them feeling it like raspy and stuff. And when you're burning, you do feel them like that. I don't go too crazy. I just superficially cut them. You don't gotta get too. Some people are more. I don't know. They clean it more than others, I would say. At the end of the day, I think I just kind of shrink them out. Not go too crazy. Once you do that to your liking, I just keep them short, honestly, guys, because it's nothing too crazy with it. Somewhat clean. You don't have to be 100%. Then what I do is that I grab this. I don't cut it like this, because what has happened to me is that I've cut the shirt, right? So what I like to do, instead of cutting the shirt without looking, you end up in here, you know what I mean? So I just go kind of like this, so I can get as close to the shirt while looking at the shirt. This is a 2.5 ounce backing, so it allows me to, it's like the medium weight. It allows me to double up whenever I need to, without having to go too crazy with it. Like I said, if I go with a heavy backing, you gotta watch out these little curves that it may have. If I go with a heavy backing, it could be too much, but with this, it allows me to kind of pick and choose, see? Kind of do something like that. I don't go too crazy. Then it's just inside out. The front, these little ones, kind of looking through the camera, so my aim is a little off. These, I do try to keep them as clean as possible, especially because they're like the more visible ones. Yep, looking good. I might go with a little lighter, hold it up in the air, and when you see like these little things right here, right, I go and I kind of burn those off. If you can't grab them like that, hit them with the lighter. But make sure that I put my finger behind it like this, so I can have them like this raised. Because if they are raised, it allows me to keep the shirt away from fire. So I'm kind of, let me see if I can show you what that looks like. So, for example, let's just say this is my little lighter. I'll go right here. You see how you can see that right there? Right, so I just kind of put it like that and kind of get it a little close, go to the next one. Get it a little close, go to the next one. Get a little close. And you got to be careful because this is polyester, so you can burn the shirt if you're not careful. I just kind of like to put my finger behind it, like I said, so I can raise that area, like right there. You see that? Watch. Boom. That's it. And I tap it, so whenever it melts, I can just adhere it to the design itself. And that's what it looked like. Like I said, this is full polyester. This is a provided shirt that they gave me. The location and placement looks pretty good where it's supposed to be. I have a chart that I can share with you guys. It's gonna be that's for the pocket sizing. That's what I do. Normally you go and you be like, hey, small to medium is like 8 inches down. Like I told you, I just go right here and I line it up with this, with the edge of the shirt, basically, with that edge, and go like here. You can see where my fingers are, like half an inch over, and then bring it down. The center of the design, it was gonna be 8 inches down or 9 inches down or 9.5. When it comes to like these things, all right, as you can see. All right, so if you can take a screenshot of that, do it. That's what I use for the most part. It used to be this one, but I took away half an inch for it, and I went into that one. It looked more better, it looked more professional. Also, when it comes to these shirts, remember these shirts, this one has 3 buttons. It doesn't mean because it has 3 buttons, that is a standard thing. I looked at this shirt on top of the person, so I can see how it looked. Some of them might have 2 buttons. Some of them might have 4 buttons. So take into consideration, and when in doubt, I'm going to show you a trick. From the bottom of the sleeve, you want to be like 2 inches up. I believe it's about 2 inches. Let me grab my ruler. So you can see, yeah, the center of the design is about 2 inches from the bottom of the sleeve. So as you can see, 2 inches, boom, when in doubt. So use those measurements over there, and this is how you end up fixing and double checking your work. And yeah, basically, hope you guys like this. I'll do another one. Part 2 is gonna have the topping, so you can kind of see them side to side. I already placed my tape on that one, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it.